What's going on, guys? Your boy Jermane'S Views, and today we have some news coming to you guys. A whole lot been going on recently, so we're gonna get straight into it. Today is Friday, June 26, 2026. So a whole lot been going on internationally. So let me just go through what's the details of what we're gonna talk about today. It's gonna be a quick show. So the Strait of Hormuz on Iran. That's one of the topic. Venezuelan earthquake and also New York rent freeze. Yes, Mamdani have done it, guys. They managed to pull a rabbit out of a hat and implement some rent freeze down there in New York. But let's get into today's topic. We're not gonna stay too long on anything. We're just gonna give you a quick rundown. So we all know the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important international um, shipping lanes in the world, and it controls a lot of shipping activities, and a lot of products and cargo, whatever you want to call it, go through that narrow pathway, that narrow strait right there. And recently we had an agreement with Iran for them to open up the strait fully and stop attacking cargo ship, but that's not the case. They recently attacked a shipping vessel transiting through the strait, and obviously Trump just posted about it. That is a foolish, very, 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 very foolish um, idea to really violate the terms and condition of violate the terms and condition of the peace deal that they signed. So that's what's going on. I think they want a toll. They want ships to pay a toll to go through, which they've been trying to do for years, but the international community and international bodies saying no, there should be no tolls transiting the Strait of Hormuz, um, and nobody should pay Iran a toll to go through. So that's what's going on. You know, they're saying basically no one has the right to go through there unless they approve it. So I guess that ship that they fired at with these one-way attack drones uh, didn't get their approval to go through. So it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. And we have a deal. So that kind of spooked the market today. So that's why the market was up. And now, things are selling off because Trump said it was a foolish idea. So let's hear what Trump has to say afterwards, and, regarding what they're going to do in if there's going to be any retaliation or what. You know, even though the tension is on still, ships are still transiting through the path through the Strait of Hormuz. There's been continuous steady flow of oil and cargo through there, but Iran is trying to start a bigger conflict or trying to gain some leverage by, I don't know, violating the terms and condition of this peace deal. I don't know what they're trying to do because that wouldn't make sense. That would put us right back where we started. Um, you know, if the strait get disrupted again, we might see oil creeping back up because remember, oil tumbled from like 117 a barrel down to like $70 or below $70 2 days ago. I saw the oil for below $70. However, gas prices haven't followed suit with the movement south. But if this continues, we might see that again. We might see the oil and prices going up again, but hopefully they can resolve this. And as I said earlier, I think this is going to be a very ongoing operation. When I said ongoing, is I think it's going to on again, off again, on again, off again, with this deal and with the situation, because I don't think Iran is intended to follow any or adhere to any treaty or deal that put forth by the United States. They're gonna break it because not because they want to do it, is because like the political structure and the leadership structure within Iran is so wide that they're not on the same page at all times, and that's what I'm understanding, that most of them are not on the same page. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on with the Iran situation. The market obviously have spooked, and the selling off again continues on this Friday, which it was up earlier. The market was up, but they started to sell off again. So we're gonna pivot to another story, um, the Venezuelan story. So we see the international community is reaching out to Venezuela and try to help them because they have a crazy earthquake now over there, and the reports are now saying that the new the new reports are saying there's over 589 souls that are lost and 3,000 injuries. So people are still missing, and I'm happy to see the international community coming in and bringing their support. And United States is spearheading this initiative because they're the Venezuela is our newfound friend and partner and ally. Um, you know, because you already know what happened to the former leader of Venezuela, and because he's no longer there, there the country of Venezuela and the political leadership there and the people to a certain extent is our newfound friend and business partner and so on and so forth. So the international community has coming in. There are rescue teams coming in to see if they could get people who are trapped underneath rubbles, and they're just trying to come in with food, water, and everything. And it's been 72 hours since the earthquake, and we're seeing the international community pouring in and trying to help with this initiative, and trying to support people, help people, and help them just to get on their feet. you know it was a crazy earthquake. It was like one behind the other, like 5 seconds or so behind the other. 7.2 magnitude and a 7.5 magnitude. So they get hit hard. They got hit hard with the earthquake. It's something that you have to think about. Like they just transitioned through a period of political instability and economical instability, and after the head was toppled by the United States, um, they were trying to get politically stable. They're finally getting money from the oil they exporting to here, and it's not being controlled by their corrupt leadership structure anymore. But the money is touching the right bases and touching the right people, and now this happens. So sad, huh? So sad. I really feel it for those people because they have gone through so much over the years. Over plenty of years, they have gone through so much. The inflation rate down there was running wild, like a wildfire. There are people down there literally buying bread and using bread as a store of value because their money like just basically their currency just basically evaporates overnight in terms of like the buying power from the currency there due to inflation. So the Venezuelan people are some very trying people, and they have gone through so much, and my heart really goes out for them during this turmoil and during this earthquake. And I'm very happy to see the international community doing what they're doing and trying to help out as much as possible to find and rescue people who have, you know, gone, and so on and so forth. So it's a good initiative. You know what I mean? So the main story of today, though, let's pivot to the main story of today, guys. As I said, this is going to be a quick topic, and I don't have too much time, but I just want to bring forth some information regarding what's going on. So, Mamdani have done it, guys. Mamdani have done it. So, New York City rent freeze. So, let me read something for you. The New York City Rent Guideline Board vote. The New York City Rent Guideline Board vote 7-1 to freeze rents on about 1 million rent stabilized apartment. So this is what Mamdani run for, and this is what he's doing, guys. So who's gonna benefit from this? Freezing rent and all of that stuff. So you know, it's crazy. Well, on the good side, it has a lot of impact on working families, with reports saying that around 2 million residents live in rent stabilized housing. So they're gonna freeze that there, and then supporters say the this relief for renters who are being crushed by high costs. Critics saying landlords still face rising insurance, repairs, fuel, and maintenance. So it's a double-edged sword. I get it. Mamdani running this initiative to freeze rent and in rent stabilized apartment, and I get it. It's gonna help working families. It's gonna help people who are struggling, because New York City is rough, man. New York City is rough, 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 rough. The bars are rough. Um, People are struggling there. I mean, people are struggling everywhere, but people are struggling there crazy. The city is in a state of disrepair. I was there in April, and I never seen New York City like that before. There was snow banked up on Times Square in Middletown, Sixth Avenue. It was a complete garbage. It was a mess. So I get it, where it's gonna help working family, but at the same time too, two things can be true at the same time. Um, Landlords and people who own these apartment buildings, they're gonna get crushed too, because they're not gonna get the income that they're looking for. The taxes on property down there is crazy as well, so they're gonna get crushed from that angle too. Um, Repair charges and the cost just to maintain and operate these buildings in New York City is astronomical. So I understand. I want everyone to win. So they should really try to find a stabilized balance, a balance in terms of how they're gonna raise the rent, and how they're gonna stable the rent, and how much and what incentive um, landlords and property owners are gonna get if they're not gonna collect so much rent as before, or if they can't raise their rent as before, because repair costs are real, man. Repair costs are real. So it's either they're gonna lower these people taxes who own these properties and own these apartment buildings, so they can really help. That could really help in terms of providing these lower rent stabilized and rent freeze apartments. But I don't know, guys. I think this is a double-edged sword. Or or it's just gonna make the system even worse. So the question is, does rent freeze protect the working people, or does it discourage landlord from maintaining and investing in housing? So that's for you guys to answer. Let me know what you think. I mean, this is a victory for Mayor Mamdani, because this is what he ran on. And now I see the Democrats are taking a leaf out of the Republicans' book by making a promise and keeping the promise when they get to office. So that's a new thing for the Democrats now. So let's see how far they're going to take this new formed way of doing things. But this is Jermaine View, guys. Please remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop any content. And let me know what you think, man. Let me know. I'm interested to hear what you think, and drop your comments below. These are three stories: the Iran situation, the Venezuela situation, and Mamdani won, and what he run for in providing rent stabilized apartment to New York City residents. And that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. We always talk about the truth and go where the truth brings us. So let me know what you think down below. I see you.